There is only one certainty in life. A strong man stands above and conquers all. And that is the voice of Prince Vegeta, the last noble blood of a warrior race that once ruled the stars. A name whispered in fear, a power born to dominate, but beneath the pride lies a journey unlike any other. This is a tale of a warrior molded by destruction, humbled by rivalry, and transformed by love, legacy, and unshakable pride. This is the lore of Vegeta, the last Saiyan prince. Before the Super Saiyan was a legend, before Goku ever fell from the sky, there was a planet, red skies, harsh terrain, and a race bred for battle. Planet Vegeta. A world where strength determined worth, where warriors were not raised, they were forged in fire. At the pinnacle of this brutal hierarchy stood King Vegeta, ruler of the Saiyans. Ruthless, proud, a conqueror by nature, commanding an army that raised planet at the whim of the highest bidder. And his son, Prince Vegeta, was not just royalty, he was prophecy. From the moment he was born, his power was unmatched. Elite class, born with a power level that left veterans speechless. His path was set, not just to rule the Saiyans, but to surpass them. He was the hope of a race obsessed with strength. Even as a child, Vegeta wore armor that many died trying to earn, but fate had other plans. Above them loomed a shadow, a tyrant named Frieza, a galactic emperor, a monster with a smile cold as ice and a power that dropped even the Saiyans. King Vegeta, proud but desperate, had traded the freedom of his people for survival under Frieza's threat, and Frieza saw what others didn't. He saw the legend, the whispers, the ancient tale of a sleeping warrior who would one day rise with a golden hair, the power that would rival the gods, a Super Saiyan. Frieza feared it, hated it, but he decided to erase it. In one cataclysmic moment, planet Vegeta was wiped from existence, turned to stardust by a single energy blast from Frieza. The Saiyan race was annihilated. Families gone, warriors vaporized. This legacy burned away in an instant. But 3 Saiyans survived. Kakarot, a baby sent to Earth. Raditz, his older brother. And Vegeta, the prince, spared not by mercy, but because Frieza wanted him alive. A weapon, a tool, a killer he could use and control. And so began Vegeta's exile, not a prince, not a rebel, but a dog wearing royal armor. A fire burning in silence, a oath whispered under breath. One day, I will make Frieza kneel. Planet after planet fell, not to a tyrant, but to his dogs of war. Saiyans, once noble, now reduced to a cosmic mercenaries. And leading the charge, even as a child, was Vegeta. He was a prodigy, a boy with the fury of a supernova. At barely 10 years old, he was annihilating civilizations, reducing worlds to rumble. His power level skyrocketed, his skills were legendary. Frieza's general feared him, his teammates envied him, but none dared to challenge him, because Vegeta wasn't just a warrior, he was rage incarnate. He trained alone, slept alone, ate in silence, not out of humility, but because no one was worthy of his company. Yet, behind the pride was a truth he could never escape. He was a prisoner. Frieza kept him close like a pet snake, deadly, beautiful, and bound. Every mission he completed was a leash tightening around his neck. He wasn't gaining freedom, he was being caged in glory. But Vegeta never stopped plotting. He studied Frieza's army, Zarbon, Dodoria, and Ginyu Force. He learned their weaknesses, their arrogance, their fear. He absorbed humiliation, every order, every insult, storing them like a fuel in a fire that refused to go out. His one obsession: power. Power to surpass the generals. Power to destroy Frieza. Power to never be weak again. Then came a name: Kakarot, a low-class Saiyan baby sent to a backwater planet called Earth. Meaningless, insignificant, until Raditz, the weakling brother, died trying to bring him back, and Kakarot killed him. A low-class Saiyan killed Raditz? And then defeated a Namekian and a bald earthling stronger than some elites? No. Impossible. Unacceptable. Vegeta didn't fear Kakarot. He hated him. Because in Kakarot, he saw something unthinkable. A Saiyan thriving without Frieza, without chains, without the burden of a royal name. That hatred burned hotter than any death beam. So when the scouters picked up chatter from Earth, the word of Dragon Balls, objects that could grant any wish, reached Frieza's ears, the game changed. Vegeta didn't ask permission. He didn't wait for orders. He stole a pod, abandoned his team, and launched for Earth. Not just to find the Dragon Balls, but to crush Kakarot, to kill the low-class Saiyan who dared outshine a prince. And if the Dragon Balls were real, he would use them for one thing: immortality. Because if he couldn't have peace, he would take revenge forever. The Earth had never seen anything like it. From the stars descended two Saiyans: Vegeta, the prince of a fallen race, and Nappa, his brutish subordinate, both radiating uncontainable power. The sky darkened, birds fled, mountains trembled, scouters beeped furiously as Earth's defenders gathered: Yamcha, Tien, Piccolo, and Krillin, each ready to die to protect their world. And that's exactly what Vegeta expected them to do. He didn't see warrior, he saw insects. Nappa unleashed chaos, flattened cities, taunting Earth's heroes. But Vegeta, he simply watched, studied, calculated. Every move his enemies made, every drop of blood they spilled, he measured it against one name: Kakarot. They said he was coming, the so-called Saiyan savior, the one who had defeated Raditz, the one who dared to reject his heritage. And then he arrived. Kakarot, Goku, calm, confident, stupidly optimistic. But something was different. He wasn't just stronger, he was faster, smarter. He carried the battle spirit of the Saiyans with the heart of a human. And in seconds, Nappa was outclassed, blasted, humiliated, broken. And Vegeta? He didn't flinch. With zero hesitation, Vegeta executed Nappa. No remorse, no farewell. The weak died. That's the Saiyan way. Now, it was just the prince and the low-born warrior. And still, Goku stood his ground. Vegeta pulled every trick. His Gallic gun, his Ozuru transformation, the very power of his race's primal roots. He became a giant ape, 10 times stronger, with no control, but unlimited rage. And still, Goku stood his ground, even broken, even crippled. With the help of his friend, he did the unthinkable. he made the Prince of all Saiyans retreat. Vegeta had lost on Earth not just a battle, but something deeper. His pride has been cracked, his status as the elite shaken, and the legend he had mocked, the Super Saiyan, suddenly didn't seem so distant anymore. Every time Vegeta clawed his way up, Kakarot flew higher. Every time Vegeta bled for power, Goku earned it effortlessly. It wasn't just infuriating, it was terrifying. Because deep inside, the prince began to realize he might never catch him. And then Frieza transformed. First form, second form, final form, each more monstrous than the last. And Vegeta cracked. He believed, no, he hoped he had ascended. He yelled, he raged, he declared himself the Super Saiyan of legend. But Frieza laughed, and with one flick, Vegeta was broken, crushed, humiliated, dying in the dirt. But even then, the Saiyan pride refused to die in silence. And then came Goku. He rose, transformed, golden hair, fairy aura, the first Super Saiyan in 1,000 years. Vegeta didn't see it, but he felt it in the afterlife, and something inside him snapped. Even death couldn't hold him, because Vegeta's story wasn't done. Not until he stood side by side with his greatest rival and became something even stronger than a Super Saiyan. A protector. Years passed, peace returned. But for Vegeta, peace was never silence. It was pressure. Because every sunrise meant Goku was training. Every moment meant another warrior out there could be stronger. And for the Prince of all Saiyans, that was unacceptable. So he trained harder than ever, with Goku against Goku, beyond Goku. And when gods entered the scene, Vegeta didn't blink. A being so powerful he could erase planets in his sleep. A being who humiliated Goku as a Super Saiyan. That was Beerus, the god of destruction. Vegeta watched in horror as the god slapped Bulma, and the prince exploded. That was my Bulma! It wasn't about pride anymore, or rivalry. It was instinct, pure, burning, protective fury. And for the first time, even Beerus paused. Because this was no longer the same Vegeta who wanted immortality. This was a man who had something to lose. And the spark led to something greater, called Ki. Vegeta trained under Whis, Beerus's angelic attendant. He didn't beg, he didn't plead, he earned it. Every punch was fueled by desperation, every push-up a scream to destiny. I will surpass Kakarot, not by shortcuts, not by hatred, but by will. And when Resurrection F struck, the Frieza returned in golden glory. Vegeta was no longer seeking revenge, he was seeking justice. He didn't fight for a throne, he fought for Earth. And when the time came, he stood over the tyrant who destroyed his people and finally said, "You should have trained when you had the chance." Frieza died by the prince's hand, but the real storm was yet to come. The multiverse opened its gates. Warriors from across realities, gods, assassins, prodigies, and yet again, Goku led the charge. But behind him, always matching, always evolving, was Vegeta. And now he had ascended. God Ki fused with Super Saiyan strength, precision, control, divine fury. Vegeta wasn't chasing shadows anymore. He was standing in the light. And when Universe 6 bought Kaba, a Saiyan from another dimension, Vegeta saw something unexpected. Not an enemy, not a rival, but a student. Vegeta took Kaba under his wing, not to boost his ego, but to pass on a legacy. The Saiyan pride that once isolated him now connected him. Then came the Tournament of Power, a battle royale where losing meant your universe would be erased. Vegeta didn't fight for himself. He fought for Bulma, for Trunks, for Bulla, the daughter he had never met, for Kaba, for Earth, for everything. And when his body was broken, when strength failed, he stood tall anyway. Because pride wasn't about winning anymore, it was about refusing to fall. Kakarot! It's up to you now! Win it for all of us! And Goku did. But Vegeta's evolution didn't stop there. In the depths of the cosmos, new threat emerged like Moro, the energy-devouring wizard who brought galaxies to their knees. Vegeta left Earth, trained on planet Yardrat, not for a fleshy form, but for spiritual mastery. And he returned with something no Saiyans had wielded before: forced spirit fusion, a technique to rip power away from his enemies. Vegeta was no longer chasing raw power, he was mastering control. And when the Granola arc arrived and the sense of Saiyan race resurfaced, Vegeta took responsibility. He didn't deny the past, he bore it, he owned it, and from the guilt came new transformation. Ultra Ego. Not calm like Ultra Instinct, not defensive. Ultra Ego was wild, raw, destructive, a form that grew stronger the more damage he took. It wasn't about avoiding hits, it was about embracing pain. Because that was Vegeta, the warrior, who rose not in peace, but in fire. And so, the story of the last Saiyan Prince continues, not as a tyrant, not as a villain, not even as Goku's rival, but as Earth's fiercest protector. A father, a mentor, a warrior whose pride no longer divides him, but defines him. Time moved forward, the galaxy healed. Wars faded into memory. New warriors rose. Pan trained under Goku. Trunks became protector in his own right. And somewhere beyond the spotlight stood Vegeta. Still training, still pushing, still evolving. Not for fame, not for the throne of a forgotten race, but because that's who he is. The Saiyan Prince. The unyielding flame, no longer chasing Goku, but walking beside him. Because rivalry had become brotherhood, and every punch they traded, every spar in the sky, was no longer about proving superiority. It was about respect. When you speak of the greatest warriors in the multiverse, you will hear names like Beerus, Jiren, Broly, Moro, Granola, Goku. But always there is Vegeta. Because he represents more than strength, he is growth. He began as a monster, a killer, a tyrant of a royal armor, but he became protector, a father, a symbol of how far pride can carry you when you learn to carry others with it. He loved his family, though he rarely said it. He respected his enemy, though he rarely showed it. He saved lives, though he never sought credit. Vegeta didn't want to be worshipped, he wanted to be worthy. He kept the race alive, not through blood, but through honor. In the end, Vegeta's greatest transformation wasn't into a Super Saiyan, or a god, or even Ultra Ego. It was the man he became, the villain who became hero, the rival who became a brother, the warrior who became a legend, Prince of all Saiyan, protector of Earth, master of pride, Vegeta. If you have walked this journey with us, if the pride of Saiyan Prince stirred something deep inside you, then stand tall like a warrior. Subscribe, like, watch again, and carry the legend forward. This is only the beginning.